Hey folks, I'm Papa Boris, and this is a replay and analysis of the second game to finish for me in the first Champions Cup Leaders Tournament on Board Game Arena. We were up against fispeck, almost a 400 rated player, very strong opponent. All right, so I step up. I'm the first player. I'm going to just play normally. We're going to grab the Royal Guard. My opponent gets a pretty good draft here. The Bruiser pops out. He's going to take the Brewmaster, and then, of course, with the Archer and Assassin to pick from, he will then... Oh, whoa, never mind. I forgot how this game went. He actually chooses the Archer. Whoa. That's a crazy pick, in my opinion, because I don't think the Archer is very strong, and I think that not taking the Bruiser there is nuts. But we'll see how my opponent puts this Archer to use. It can be a very dangerous piece with the Brewmaster backup. I decide, let's play aggressively, let's do the usual stuff, get the Royal Guard in there, and then I grab the Acrobat. And this maybe was a mistake. Maybe I should have just taken this Bruiser that my opponent left for me, because with the Royal Guard already here, the Bruiser just needs to walk in, and I win the game. But at the time I was thinking, well, we can like step back with the leader, step back with the Royal Guard, and then get the Acrobat in there, and then have the Acrobat and the Royal Guard both in very quickly that way. I would decided to go for the quick approach versus the Bruiser, which would have been the slow approach. And I do think that the Bruiser would have been correct. So as it is, what happens is that my opponent gives the Archer a kick with the Brewmaster, gets the Archer pretty far advanced, and then takes the Rider. So now there's the Archer and the Rider who might be coming at me very quickly. But I was undeterred. I decided to stick with my strategy. I pushed everything back after saving the space for the Acrobat to jump, and then I got the Acrobat and the Royal Guard in there, and I'm threatening checkmate. And at this point, I still think I should have taken the Bruiser, but I took the Claw, because now I was trying to be tricky, like, you know, I can move my leader and my Royal Guard out of the way, pull the Acrobat up, and then Claw in for checkmate, that kind of stuff. I think I probably should have just taken the Bruiser. I have two pieces really close to the enemy leader. I just stick the Bruiser here, and I just go and hope that I get there before the Archer and the Rider can finish me off. So now my opponent, of course, gets in with the Rider, moves up with the Archer, puts the leader there, and he actually realized that would be losing because of the Claw, so he changed his mind, moved the leader the other way, put up the Bruiser, and he got to, or put up the Brewmaster, and then he got to recruit the Bruiser. Now, in this case, I have to be a little bit careful because, for example, if I put my leader here, then I'm in a little bit of danger of checkmate, because if the Archer moves back here, and the Rider can jump in here if the Royal Guard moves, and then I lose the game. But I thought, you know, I'm so close with my pieces. Let's just get it done. So what I did was I moved my Royal Guard normally. I put my leader there. I clawed up to the middle with the Claw to stop the Rider from getting in for checkmate, and then I drafted the Nemesis. So a little bit of a frisky line here, but my gamble was that I have so much pressure with my pieces that the Nemesis maybe is actually viable this game. In retrospect, I don't think that makes any sense. I think I should have just taken a vanilla piece. It's also worth noting that after moving away my Royal Guard, I could have put my Acrobat here and then put the Claw all the way here. Now, in order for this to not lose the game, I would have needed to put my leader in a different spot. Or put my Royal Guard here, so that if the Rider rode in here, then the Archer didn't have a space from which it could checkmate my leader. But the Nemesis I don't think was the way to go, because now what my opponent does is just moves out with the Archer, uses the Brewmaster to kick the Bruiser, and the Bruiser can then just take his turn to push my Acrobat away. So now none of my pieces are actually that close to the leader, and the Claw is surrounded by enemy pieces, so he can't use his ability very effectively. He then rode in to block the Nemesis a little bit, and he did take a move with his leader, so my Nemesis did get to move. Now it was my turn. I can jump in with the Acrobat, but I cannot deliver checkmate or anything like that. My opponent's pieces are still a bit far away from me, so I thought, okay, this isn't necessarily over. Let's jump in there, try to cut the leader off going that way. Let's put the Claw up there, and I passed. The idea being that if the Bruiser goes on the Claw, then the Claw can only get pushed into this square. But what my opponent does here is just move with the Bruiser towards my leader. So now I am almost lost. He used the Brewmaster to kick the Bruiser and then just move the Bruiser normally. So I'm very close to losing here. This, by the way, is why I kept the Royal Guard here, so stop the Archer from giving checkmate. Now his Rider gets to go. So my leader is just completely surrounded by enemy pieces, and there's very little I can do about it. He simply hides in the corner. My Nemesis gets maddeningly close, but then it's my turn. And my claw is one space away from being able to get to my opponent's leader, and my leader is too far away for the royal guard to be able to do anything about it. So my try here was I pulled the bruiser off of me, and I stepped back with the leader. Then I put the royal guard here to block the rider for coming in for checkmate, because the archer is actually threatening me here. But the problem is that because the claw had to pull the bruiser back, the claw couldn't step forward. So from this position, I'm actually not threatening checkmate. So the bruiser simply moves again, the archer moves behind him, and then the rider steps forward. The bruiser even has the luxury of being able to take a step up. And now again, my claw is one space away from being able to give checkmate. If the claw was actually here, he could have slid in for checkmate, though of course then the brewmaster would have stayed put. And there wasn't much for me to do. I stepped in, I'm one space away from checkmate, but my opponent gets in with the bruiser. And it's not... it is, yeah, because he just moves the rider, and then the archer steps in for the checkmate. I definitely think I had a chance to win this game. I shouldn't have taken the nemesis. I had several chances to take the bruiser. My opponent probably should have taken the bruiser instead of the archer, but taking the archer gave me the chance to take the bruiser. Had I just kept the royal guard near my opponent and just walked up with the bruiser, I think there was a very real chance that I could have won that game. Of course, everything then would have been different. Then my opponent would have had the acrobat, and who knows what might have happened. But it was a good game by fispeck. Maybe would have won regardless of what I did in the draft, but I did think I threw away some opportunities. Still, though, some props to myself for getting the nemesis parked one space away from checkmating the enemy leader. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.